cycle that again. Oofda. And it was plugged in. Well, we got one thing working today. We got to get a few things going. And hopefully they all go. It's just not a good day for this. Well, we're 2 for 2. The pump's working. I've been here and the pump works, but the handle won't engage. So we're off to a good start. It's been really cold for the last, well, almost pretty much 2 weeks. I got invited to go tour a couple of Case IH factories, which was really cool. That was down in the States. Unfortunately, they don't allow filming in there, so I don't really have any footage for you. We got to haul some grain this week. Of course, it's a short week. Talked to them, they said, yeah, you can haul until and including Wednesday this coming week. Forgetting that today, Monday, is a day off. Oh, yeah, okay, well, luckily it's not a huge contract, it's 10,000 bushels. Gonna need 2 days to do that. That's essentially hauling 6,600 with the semi and 3,300 with the grain truck, around there. So yeah, we're gonna be running both. That other trailer's still out of commission. It's been minus 20 or lower the entire time. Starting on Thursday, Friday, it's supposed to warm up. Next week looks pretty good. We'll probably delve into that. But yeah, we got 2 days to haul 10,000 bushels, which, you know what, for a lot of places that's not a big deal. You got a couple of semis, a couple of triaxles, a couple of guys, all this. But minus 30, nothing ever goes good. This morning I woke up at 5, it was minus 36. Right now it is minus 26. It is noon. I planned to go around noon out to the farm. I set the Wabastos to go off at about 10:30. So hopefully the semi and the grain truck start today. Otherwise we're just not going to be able to get it done tomorrow. So right now I'm feeling really guilty and really stressed. I'm feeling guilty because I went on that trip down to North Dakota and Minnesota, and you know, truth be told, I didn't really need to. It was really cool, but I had also promised myself last week I was going to sit in my office and do book work, and I didn't get very much book work done. I got up 4 or 5 hours on Thursday, and honestly I probably need a good 60. I like to leave my book work to do it when it's minus 20, minus 30. Or even this week, I was hoping I could just have Zach trucking and I could do books. And if something else comes up, we need to do it. We only had 2 days to do it. Well, we can't do it in 2 days unless we use the grain truck as well. And it's just been one thing after another. So I'm really beaten up on myself for not taking advantage of it. And like, it's just one of those things it's just year end. I got a lot of stuff to clean up. I had planned last year on using like a remote assistant and whatnot to do my books. I did it the year before. I didn't love it. I wanted to do it again, and then partway through the year I said, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. I felt like I had a better grasp of my books and my costs, profits, and all this. So I am playing catch up. I'm learning a new system. Well, we had a bit of a geyser going on here, as you can see. Yeah, well, got out This tank usually holds about 888, 889. Yeah, I knew it was getting close to full. And I opened the door and I turned around and it sounded normal, and all of a sudden I heard and it was pouring out of there. This had tripped, but the mechanism inside was frozen, so I had to kick that off. Okay, first things first, we're gonna have to retarp this. I've got oh God, that wind is horrible. Got a little space heater in there. We'll fire this thing up for half hour or so while the trucks warm up. That should be enough to get this engine going. So we got to move this auger to the next bin over. I don't dare trying to deal with the conveyor right now. The conveyor runs good. It's just, it's not a lot of fun to deal with in extreme cold. It'll probably start, but just I don't like running the belts like that, and the hydraulic oil is probably so thick right now it would take me an hour to walk it from here over to the bins, which is, you know, maybe 100 yards. And the throttle cable has slipped on it, so it won't go to full RPM. So it's actually probably slower than the 8-inch auger right now.
Bluetooth connected.
That doesn't look happy. There we go. Not very happy to be going. Holy, you can barely move that. That fault will go away in a second or two. Yep. So far we got a lot going right for us. A lot of times when it's really cold, I can't get those off and I got to run the torch on them for a little bit. And then, oh, that's starting to leak. That's new. Sometimes these freeze up too. Probably should have let it warm a little longer, but it sounds like it'll go. Well, not gonna lie, that went way better than I expected. It's warmed up. I know I said it was minus 25 before, but as soon as I got on the highway, you can hear my turbo doesn't like it. She whistles when she's real cold. As soon as I got moving on the highway, that dropped down to minus 29, and she's pretty much hovered there the whole time. Oh yeah, there's a lot of other stuff I'd rather be doing today. Well, she is currently 7 a.m. and still minus 37. And this is going to be by far the coldest, at least static temperature, that I've ever trucked in. I'm not happy about it. This kind of weather really stresses me out, especially on the highway that we're going down, which is pretty rough. So I worry about snapping an airline or a fitting or something like that, just cracking out. I think you can see my exhaust. I want to say there's like maybe a 5-mile-an-hour wind from the north, which is going to make it horribly cold. I put in 10 kilometers an hour. That might be a bit much. Let's dial it down to 7. Not 16. 6. Let's call it. Minus 45. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Today went way better than I expected. Only had 2 minor hiccups, and both of them were on Dad's tandem. Was leaking coolant, and it was just, I had to tighten up some clamps. It was just way too cold. And the self-leveling valve for the cab suspension was froze up this morning, so Zach had a rough ride there and back. But he said once he got loaded up here on the second load, it just seemed to pop free, I guess. Like, our first load was pretty delayed. Seemed like their probe wasn't working. I was third one in line. It took me an hour and 15-ish just to get there, like get through the lineup and dumping. And there's Zach. She's warmed up. 3 degrees warmer. I read somewhere online yesterday, can't remember what it was, said Saskatchewan was the coldest place on earth yesterday. I kind of believe it. It could be a lot worse. Not very often we get serious wind, or honestly wind at all, when it's this cold. And it doesn't take a lot of wind to make a minus 50 wind chill when you're at minus 34. Hopefully we can power through one more day, because that's all I need to fill this contract. So I made it to series today for about 8:15. Did pretty good. It's actually the first one in line. That doesn't happen very often. Not that I get going late. It's that usually there's a lot of guys that are closer, or on occasion I've seen people overnight it either close by or pretty much on the road. So first in line, yeah, it's gonna be a good day. No, it wasn't. 25 minutes for them to get me probed. Just everything's locked up, froze up. Hydraulic oil's thicker than molasses. And then I get inside, I'm on the scale for about another 25 minutes. The leg wouldn't stay running. It would run, they'd get it started, it would quit. So they had to just keep babying it, and then they finally shut it down for a while, let the breakers cool, and turn it back on, and that seemed to do the trick. But it's beautiful out here in the sun. We're out of the wind. That's ripping apart the old bridge. This side, they just opened this side, I think Dave said last week. Dave's brother lives right around here. I'm not sure, but it actually might be right there. But yeah, he said, because all winter we were on the east side of the bridge. Now, I guess in the last week here. So not last Friday, but the Friday before, I was going through and we were still on the east side, and it was rough. So it's a lot nicer going on this side now. Oh, they're waving us through. This ought to be the last load for me. Zach should be coming any minute now. We've been kind of meeting at consistent time. Oh, ha! Saw that just perfect. Not sure if you can see him out there. He just, literally as soon as I said it, he cleared the bushes. I guess over there. Anyhow, actually this morning, he called me. He said when he turned into series, the truck downshifted and then wouldn't go out of neutral. That's how cold it was. He's got the automatic in his, in the tandem there, but you could even feel it in the stick of the 18 speed that it was sludge, peanut butter. But you know, we've been grinding her out. It's been going so far so well. But I'll tell you one thing, minus 37, there's not a snake, a spider, scorpion, or mosquito in sight right now. So I guess you kind of got to take the wins with your losses.